So let me show you how to make a simple pamphlet binding. I'm going to want to start off with a stack of text weight papers, one sheet of cardstock for the cover, a needle and thread. I've stained this thread red so that we can see it better here. I just used a marker. You can stain your thread a different color if you'd like to. You're also going to need a bone folder, an awl. It's handy to have a pair of scissors nearby and a clean phone book. We're going to use this for as a punching jig. So we'll set this aside. I'm going to set some of these other tools aside. The first thing you'll want to do is to stack the pages together with the cover and fold them in half. Give it a bit of a crease with your hands, but then what you'll want to do is take the bone folder and using the edge of the bone folder, give it a good hard crease on one side, flip it over and give it another crease on the other side. Open up your phone book somewhere in the middle, doesn't matter where, and you're going to set your pages in the fold of the phone book. And this is going to hold it in place while you punch the holes for sewing. And the first hole you want to punch is one right about in the middle. Go ahead and punch it all the way through. And then I like to put another one maybe about an inch down from the top, and then another one an inch up from the bottom. If you really like precise measurements and for these sewings to be very clean and precise, you can use a ruler to measure these to get them just in the right place. Now we can set the phone book aside, and the thread that you'll need should be about 3 times the height of the book, maybe just a little bit longer. So just measure 1, 2, 3 times the height of the book. Go ahead and thread your needle on it, but make sure you don't put any knots in the thread itself. Now, starting from the outside, and you're going to go through the very center hole all the way through into the middle of the book. Now, remember to leave a little tail for tying off on the outside, and you might want to hold it with your fingers just to make sure it doesn't pull through. Now from the middle, you're going to go through a hole on either side. It doesn't really matter which way. I'm going to go through the right side. Flip it over, and this time you're going to skip over the middle hole and go through the other side. All right, and the final step is to go back through that center hole again. So it should look like this in the interior, 2 pieces of thread, and on the outside, 1 long piece of thread that goes through the middle, and then the 2 pieces coming out on either side. Now before we tie the knot, what you want to do is make sure that this long thread straddles right in between those 2 short ones. So I'm going to tuck the needle underneath, and now you can see it's right in the middle. I'm going to tie the knot right on top of that. And I'm going to give these threads just a little slight tug just to tighten it up a little bit. I'll take the needle off the thread and set it aside. And you'll just tie a square knot on top of that long thread to hold it in place. Right over left, go through that loop and pull it down tight. And then left over right, go through the loop, pull it down tight. And your final step is to trim off these excess threads. Now don't trim all the way down at the bottom. There's some tendency to want to do that so that there aren't any extra pieces of thread hanging out. But if you do that, your knot will come undone. So give it at least about ½ an inch or so. Sometimes I like to leave it just a little bit longer because it's nice and decorative. If you choose not to have these decorative threads on the outside of your book, all you have to do is just start sewing from the inside. And those loose threads would just be tucked away inside and you won't see them at all. And there you have it, a simple Pamphlet Binding. You have a blank book that you can draw in now.